From a kid who was considered a music genius, to songs that now feel like they were written in blood. This is the rise and fall of David. David started out as a kid playing and making Fortnite montage videos, but he kept getting hit with copyright every time he uploaded. So his mom told him to make his own music, and so he did. David literally shut himself in his sister's closet with just an iPhone and Apple earbuds, recording songs on a free mobile app called BandLab. Then, he finally made a song that blew up like a Godzilla kaiju level success, Romantic Homicide. And it absolutely biblically shattered every possible record, not just on TikTok, but all over the internet. It even climbed the Billboard Hot 100. He ended up signing with Darkroom Interscope, Billie Eilish's label home, the team that launched her career, which was huge for him, especially since he said Billie is his biggest inspiration. But his mom felt something different. She said the song sounded like David was talking about killing people, but he brushed it off, saying that if even his mom didn't like it, then it had to be cool.
I played it for her in the car, and she was like, "David, this song is too violent. You're talking about killing people in your music? No, not my son." And I played it for my mom. And whenever my mom hates something, I know it's cool. I knew it was cool if she hated it.
But maybe a mother's instincts weren't so easy to ignore. Then, in July 2022, he made another track, Here With Me. Right now, it's sitting at over 130 million views. People said listening to it made them feel really emotional, like it felt like the last time you'd be with someone, not knowing if you'd ever meet again. Now let that comment marinate in your head for a moment, because what people were feeling back then already feels like it was pointing to something else. David explained the emotional weight by saying the song was inspired by the Pixar film Up. He said he was struck by Carl and Ellie's lifelong love, and he wanted to write something about growing old together.
I was watching the Disney movie Up, and I got really inspired by Carl and Ellie's kind of relationship and their story. I was like thinking about Carl and Ellie, and I was like, all right, bet I got to think about a relationship as a really old dude and a really old grandma.
Or was it? A year later, David introduced Itami, his blindfolded alter ego. In his words, it was an agent of chaos, a character he pulled from a manga story he was writing, an evil version of himself who shows up at random, commits crimes, and leaves the detective version of David to solve them. He even pointed out that Itami means pain in Japanese, and everyone bought into it. His show started selling out. His debut EP, Petals to Thorns, dropped in May 2023 and pushed him even further. By then, both Romantic Homicide and Here With Me had racked up hundreds of millions of streams. He was no longer just a kid in the closet with an iPhone. He was performing for crowds, flying out for interviews, and carving a spot next to artists he once looked up to. But the higher David climbed, the world he built slowly started to collapse. On September 8, 2025, in a Hollywood tow yard, staff reported a strong odor coming from a Tesla. It gets towed, and LAPD opens a case, finding human remains in the trunk. Days later, they identify 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, and the car is registered to David. Detectives serve a warrant at a Hollywood Hills address tied to him. They take away his devices for investigation, but for now, there are no charges, and the cause of death is still pending. Her body was later given back to the family. After this, David cancels shows in the US, and then Europe and the UK. That's when people started speculating, and the things they found were horrifying. Because it feels like David semi-documented his own crime. In his animated music video, Rehab, his alter ego Itami is shown cutting off a girl's arm and killing her, which is chilling because people were saying Celeste was dismembered in the trunk of his Tesla, but police haven't confirmed that detail. Officially, they've only said her remains were found in the Tesla's front trunk. and the cause of death hasn't been released. Another one of his songs, One More Dance, shows him dragging a body and putting it into a trunk, while his breakout song, Romantic Homicide, was already being read like a confession. In the back of my mind, you died. In the back of my mind, I killed you. Fans also noted he released the song on September 7th, Celeste's birthday. Then there's the lyric in his song Decide, Save Your Tears, 7 years. He released that line when Celeste was 11 years old, meaning 7 years later would have been when she turned 18. Screenshots also spread online of what looked like a collaborative Spotify playlist between the two. As the case dragged on, more details started to surface. There were claims Celeste had run away more than once because of problems at home. What's actually confirmed is that she'd been missing since 2024, reportedly more than once. And her mom says she was seeing a boyfriend named David. But was it really that David? That's where the tattoos come in. People point to them as proof the two knew each other and were likely in a relationship. Celeste had a "shh" tattoo on her right index finger, the exact same tattoo in the same spot that David has. On top of that, screenshots circulated showing Celeste with David tattooed on her ring finger. Adding to that, there's a livestream clip. A girl believed to be Celeste appears on camera with David, even calling him out live for being a PDF, because she would have been just 13 at the time, while David was already 18. There are also leaked Discord messages stirring more speculation. People believed Celeste might have been the deleted user, and one screenshot even suggested she could have been pregnant. A video from one of Celeste's old teachers also started going around. He said she used to be a student, that she ran away, came back for a bit, and then disappeared again. In the clip, he basically warned his class about how dangerous social media can be. Right after that, people started paying attention to who unfollowed David once the news came out. Streamers like Jason and Lacey even cut him off publicly. And then there was the so-called payoff photo. It showed David in a Lake Elsinore parking lot, handing a bag to a younger kid just blocks from Celeste's neighborhood. Nobody really knows what was in it. Hush money? Merch? Or maybe nothing at all. But with everything else going on, it didn't look good. Online, people immediately framed it as hush money, connected to Celeste's circle, even though no news outlet confirmed what was inside the bag or if it had anything to do with her case. People also combed through Celeste's social media. They found she was clearly into Hello Kitty. Crocs, bracelets, even a purse showed up all over her posts. Then viewers noticed some of those same items popping up in David's TikToks. To people online, that felt like proof they were connected. The internet also pointed to the Sprinter van. They claimed David had changed the license plate on his tour van to include Celeste's name. Then came the lease. Multiple outlets reported that right after LAPD raided his Hollywood Hills home, David backed out of his $20,000 a month lease. The timing made it look like he was running. Meanwhile, fans noticed he was still popping up online. Screenshots showed him lurking on Twitch streams or queuing up Fortnite matches like nothing had happened. But with all this pressure and suspicion on him, why keep showing up like everything's normal? And more importantly, was it even really David using that account? Again, these are all just speculation, but all signs are pointing to him. And even if he tries to come off as innocent or misunderstood, the damage has already been done, and his downfall is already in motion.